So blind.
Hey, do you guys think we'll be interested in reviewing this gravity fold lightweight stroller?
No, thank you.
It's right in our alleyway.
Yeah. All right. We are live. I need to get our YouTube link though. Posted in the channel.
It's like we're old timey with the spreadsheet.
I know. I just don't. I'm so lost.
Our little program is gone. It's
Old
committed
timey.
suicide. I can't help it.
It's working too hard.
This is shitty sysadmin.
Yeah, you have like 8 terabyte internet up there, Gavin. Why don't you host it?
Exactly.
I don't have 8 terabyte yet. My upload's only 30 kilobits.
Your Dockers don't crash your computer.
Yeah.
I know how to run things.
Oh,
I'm technical.
dang.
I'm not looking at a log file.
Yeah, I know how to read logs.
Wow.
The estimated delivery date is September 25th of this year, right? That's so true.
Yeah. 2023.
I love the picture, right?
Are you gonna release it on Friday or
The podcast?
yeah?
I've been editing differently, so I think I got a system down now finally.
Your new style editing adds 2 days to the process.
we're gonna have to put a time holder in there.
It's
Placeholder.
Sometime of the week of Friday, September the 2nd. You might get it plus or minus 2 days.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
This is HomeTech.fm for the week.
We stopped recording on Tuesday, or what was it? No, Wednesday. We moved to Tuesday. I'm still like managing to get it out on Friday. And then we moved to Monday. And it's like, nope, Sunday. Maybe Monday.
You're gonna have to specify week numbers now instead of day.
Yeah, the week number 54.
23rd, 2020.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, you guys ready?
Hold on, where did my spreadsheet go? See, I'm so lost.
It's just a different tab, Gavin.
No, but it looks the icon's so different.
It's so sad.
All right, let's go.
It's a technology show.
You lead it. I'll just.
He's hungry.
Isn't that what you do every show, Gavin?
Yeah, pretty much. I just. Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm just making sure.
I just try not to piss Richard off.
No, see, I was not.
Well, we got to name the Gunther switches after him. That was.
Oh yeah, I was listening to that before. Yeah. All right, go for it.
All righty. This is the HomeTech podcast for Friday, September 2nd. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Powell, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech podcast, a podcast about all aspects of home automation, home technology, buttons. We've got all the buttons here. Guys, the PBB DB is really taking off. TJ, you went in there. You put some board buttons in there. We launched this last week at the end of the show. If you don't know about it, head on over to pbbdb.com and you should be able to check out the price per button. And we've got a new contender in here we just found today.
Do we have a new contender?
It's beautiful.
Gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we were just talking before the show, and then we were just spending money before the show is what ended up happening.
Gavin just like casually mentioned this, like it was like no big deal. He's like, they released this silly little thing, nobody cares about it.
Silly little thing called a hard button remote. Like you can't even get one of these days. And he's like, oh yeah, this the Flirk thing, which should be a curse word probably somewhere. They have the Skip 1S, and it's a $40, like $39.95. It's got 34 buttons on it. Maybe more. I don't know. It looks like it's 34.
And every button does long hold too.
It's a remote. Like how did we? I can't even. So yeah, TJ and I just decided to buy them. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
We're so excited. So anybody that doesn't know, or maybe you just don't care, I don't know, but it's a little IR remote. Akin to the Logitech Harmony remote, that little companion remote that was discontinued, a couple years ago now, when Logitech ended that whole line. But it's just a USB-C programmable IR remote. It's very simple. It comes with a Windows program. You can kind of define what each button is. You can set up activities. This is a perfect remote for somebody that just needs a basic remote. All your stuff is IR controlled, or you can use a little IR transmitter receiver setup thing. And something I would normally have to spend several $100s on to get like a good quality one. And obviously we don't know what this one is just yet, but it's $40. How can we go wrong?
It's got 4 special color buttons that you can wow. So there's like little extra things you could do with the color buttons. Interesting. Yeah, this is great. This is great. I think this is going to go a long way. It's only IR, so you have to like point and shoot still. Like that's old technology. What it needs to have is like Bluetooth and a base station, but I'll wait. I'm patient.
They might work on it, you know. For anybody that doesn't know, they make a little USB plug-in module that you put into a computer, and then you can use an IR remote to control different aspects of that computer. So very popular in the HTPC world. It's always recommended when somebody's building one. And I think the little dongle is like $20 or $30. So I mean, it's not even expensive by itself, and they could totally just build a hub with all this stuff kind of built into it. And I could totally see that.
Yeah, it's got an IR receiver on it too. So if you're missing an IR code, you can learn it in. Really, I mean, a well-rounded product. Yeah.
And I said earlier, I compare this to the earlier generations of the Harmony remotes, because it's just the IR from the remote to control your devices. No hub yet, and I hope they work on something, because I like Flirk. I like their company. I have a bunch of their devices, and they work great. Their software is great. I've never had any issues with any of their products. So this looks great. If they ever come out with a hub, I'm sold. I'm done. Because back in the days, I always had issues with people pressing on or off or not holding the remote there long enough, and things didn't adjust all properly. And once Harmony came out with the hub that took care of all of that, I was sold. I never looked back at that point, right? This is a step back now, and it'll just put me back. It's a new remote, but it introduces old problems, right? So I'd like to see them get a hub. So I'm not going to introduce that old problem back.
Gosh, that's all right. Old problems die hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a ton of old clients that like this would just be perfect for. They're used to aiming the remote at the TV. They don't want RF because I don't know. Why do they? But RF obviously works way better.
Yeah, I for $40, you can't go wrong. The
price is great. Yeah.
The only thing I really have like that compares is like a URC remote, and you're talking several $100s by the time you buy the remote and the receiver and then program it and everything. So.
Well, you know what this has? This has USB-C on it. I doubt what does URC have? Like the old printer cable attached to the thing?
Actually, they use USB-C as well.
Oh, do they?
The newer models, at least.
All right. Well,
but yeah, the interface still is very awful. So
yeah, the Skip 1S is $39.95 and 34 buttons. That comes out to a nice $1.18 per button. And if you're in Canada, that's $1.53. And if you're in the UK and you're using the British sterling pounds over there, it's £1. So there you go.
And their sale price is $2 off. So normal MSRP is going to supposedly be $42.
Oh, should I put that in there?
It's not even out yet.
No.
This is the price that's on there. I would just say that for now.
I bet
it's not like the PPV is going to go up that much,
well, I mean, we want to be accurate, but I would think that they probably just leave that permanently on their website. Like it's always on sale, who knows? Well, if they ever want that like $2 or $3 extra, I guess they'll go for it, and we'll have to raise our prices on our button database here. I guess that should be a rule. We need to make a rule about that. But prices are.
We need a date column.
Yeah, maybe they,
it's
price is effective as of.
I mean, it is a database.
I feel like, I guess for transparency's sake, we should probably do the MSRP. Because then we'd have to do like sales and stuff like that.
Yeah, good point. All
right, so change it to 42.
$42. All right, so that's going to bump our price per button to $1.24, or for Gavin $1.61, or $1.05. I don't even know if they have five. I don't even know if they have cents. Pence? Is that what it is?
Pence, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Everything is always rounded over there. Yeah, they'll probably just charge you £1. They're like, who cares about the 5?
Get over it.
Yep. Cool. Well, I'm glad to have an entry in the database and a hole in the wallet now. Thanks, Gavin. You griped a lot about spending money on your rack, but you walk in here with this, and I mean, I'm buying it before you guys even stop talking about how many buttons it has.
And I was even trying to get them to buy more by buying the USB thing with it.
Yeah,
too.
I actually bought 2.
$40 versus what I spent on my rack. I have a lot to get back at you guys.
It adds up. It adds up, my friend.
Not even done with the rack, so
Stop
All
it.
right. What do you guys say we jump into some home tech headlines?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, Crestron is finally addressing some of the ongoing supply chain problems in an open forum, a webinar, basically, they had with some of their integrator partners. During the webinar, the company said that it doesn't expect the supply chain situation will fully ease up until the spring of 2023, and that the bottlenecks are actually not being caused by a shortage of microchips, as everybody talks about and blames on, but the various like components that are like resistors and transistors and all the fun stuff that go into actually making the chip board. So it's not so much the microprocessors, but everything else that they have a hard problem getting. There's a 1-hour webcast moderated by Brad Hinsey. He's now Executive Vice President of Marketing. If you recognize that name, he's been on this podcast a number of times. He was working for Control 4 over there, and he's since gone to Crestron. And featured Crestron CEO Dan Feldstein, COO Dan Brady, and Executive VP of Residential John Clancy. Here's a quote from the article over at CE Pro. Quote, the problem continues to be raw components, explains Brady. Before the pandemic, it was 12 to 24 week lead time. Now it's 80 weeks. It has nothing to do with the complexity of the product. He went on to say the demand from the products outside of the industry, everybody's trying to get the same components. Electric vehicles, charging stations, drill chargers, everybody needs these components. And you basically go up into a bidding war. And sometimes he said during this talk that they had to pay $60 for a unit of certain product, when in previous years and previous times, it was 5 cents per unit. So costs have definitely gone up. And none of this is, I guess, something we haven't heard, but it's finally, or I guess Crestron's finally coming out and saying it, because we've been hearing for quite some time that Crestron has been having a hard time to fulfilling orders. They go on to explain that it's not just the supply chain. They actually did have a big rush of orders that came in when they announced they would be increasing prices, and they were having some problems getting things in. And that led to basically their back end ordering system going down and not being able to keep up. They went back to manually inputting things into the system and trying to do that. But they've gone on to upgrade all that. They said give dealers a better portal to go in and make their orders and everything. And so it sounds good, but they basically said we're just waiting on the components to show up. We've ordered them 18 weeks ago. They should be here any day, and when they do, we can crank out some products. So that will be nice, I'm sure, for Crestron dealers. TJ, I know you had a glancing blow with almost becoming a Crestron dealer, but not being able to order the product from them. So I guess that kind of evaporated. Where are you in the state of Crestron world right now?
Yeah, so I was talking to them to become a dealer for a little while, mainly because I really like the product compared to some of the other ones out there, like Control 4 or Savant and all that good stuff. But it basically boiled down to product availability not really being a thing at the time. And this is probably 6 to 8 months ago, I think this is happening. And I basically figured it out that we would probably end up waiting 2 years to like become like a full dealer, right? So we have to order the demo gear, get the training, and then after we get the demo gear and do the training, we have to start selling jobs and ordering all the gear and everything. So my estimates was it was going to take about 2 years in order to get anything, and I wasn't really comfortable in doing that. So we just didn't go through with it. This kind of thing, I think makes it look really bad just because Crestron is a luxury dealer or company, and it's a very high end company. And it kind of stinks that, other smaller companies or companies that are just the same size are obviously struggling as well, but nowhere near as bad. Right. We're seeing lead times on stuff from Ubiquiti or Ruckus or Cisco and all that stuff. But it just seems to really hit Crestron really hard. And I guess that's very discouraging when their products do come at a premium.
Right. And they're a global brand, a smaller company compared to somebody like Sony or anything like that, but bigger than something like, I mean, Gavin kind of reminded, this is nothing we haven't heard of, especially on the DIY side. Like Innovelli kind of comes to mind, and like their issues of getting product in place and that kind of thing. So like it spans the entire market. Like there's a funny graphic I posted in kind of our back channel here of that, the meme with, what was it? The Star Wars meme, I guess. With he's ordering automation components in 2022. The first frame says the estimated delivery is September 24th. She says, "Oh, of this year, right?" And he just kind of stares at her. "Oh, this year, right?" Nope.
Yeah, and you have to think like stuff like this has to make these companies think differently in the future, right? One thing that really stands out to me about this whole article here, it says, so how many components are we talking about? As an example, a single DM NVX board requires 2,564 parts to be purchased from 240 different suppliers. And that is a ton of different moving parts that, obviously when they're all working efficiently, you're not going to notice any problems. But one small hiccup and you're not able to ship products for how long?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if this whole thing is going to make people, either rethink how many parts they're using for something, where they're getting those parts from, or just how many they're keeping in stock at all times. So that way, when they do hit a hiccup like this or a road bump, then it's not as big of an issue anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I could speak to a little bit of that. Like they have been, because this has not been an isolated case. This didn't start this year. So I can tell you from a manufacturer standpoint, they are keeping all those little components and pieces and parts. They're trying to like hoard all they can, which only adds to the problem, right? Because it's all just in time delivery. So they're already trying that. I don't know that you like a computer, like that DM thing he's talking about. That's like a computer. Like it's going to have thousands of parts on it, at the end of the day. So I don't think there's a way around, building a computer, so to speak. Like you're going to have all those parts and pieces and HDMI connectors and all that good stuff on there. But the thing is like, you don't realize it's like if you're missing a resistor that you need for that board, and your manufacturer is spinning up ready to go to build it, and you don't have it, they skip you. Like you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And Crestron manufactures in the US and Mexico, but they buy all their product and everything, all their components. There's only one place to get them, and that's in Asia. And when China shuts down, there's no resistors coming in. Like what are you going to do? You can't build the product. It cannot be put together unless you have all of that stuff sitting there ready to go, which is, it's crazy to think about, but I guess it kind of is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bigger thing, like from all this, is like the just-in-time nature. Like I felt like going into the pandemic, we had really gotten really good at just-in-time delivery. Like I could order something, and it may not even be in the States. Like it may be in China, and I would watch that thing like track over, hit Alaska, hit Nashville, in the next day or a day or two later, like Prime. Amazon Prime, it's being thrown on my stoop, right, by the Amazon guy. And then COVID definitely tripped all that up in a number of ways, but it just seemed like that maybe that just-in-time delivery or just-in-time ordering is probably what needs to go. And less so like worrying about what components and everything go into the products to make them work. Like I don't know. To me, that's what seems to be the root cause of the disease. It's like everything was ordered exactly when you needed it, and there's nobody's. I'm saying this from a distributor's point of view, which is probably not good, but like nobody was stocking anything, right? Like they expect you to buy something and you have it in stock, and then deliver it to me. But there's the dealers that are able to keep moving product are the ones that bought a bunch of the stuff while they could and had it in a warehouse somewhere. And I realize there's business reasons for not doing that. You have to pay taxes to the IRS because inventory is like basically income for you. So yeah, probably not a fun thing to do, but we've noticed a lot of people have been hoarding products and reselling them for a lot more than they're actually worth.
Yep.
So have you seen that on the on the DIY side, Gavin? Like people buying a bunch of Innovelli stuff and then reselling them for
You always
gouging.
see that. Yeah, you always
Yeah.
see that price gouging. You're even seeing it now with the Harmony remotes, where people are listing them for hundreds of dollars just because they know the value of them and stuff like that, right? And Innovelli was when it's hard to get their Z-Wave devices now. So if you were looking around to try and get a hold of some, there's people selling them for $100 or more per switch, right? Like, and that's all. They doubled the price pretty much of those switches, but it's amazing to see, like, imagine the smaller companies. I've seen a number of smaller companies just disappear
Yeah.
through COVID because they can't get product and they can't compete with when it comes to bidding. They just don't have the size, so they just shut up shop and they're gone, right? And that's unfortunate, but it's one of the things we found out during COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's smaller shops, and then you look at Crestron, they're pretty big. Like I said, they're a global brand. They've got a few thousand employees across the world. It hits everybody. It's hitting everybody pretty hard. It is interesting to see what is in stock and what isn't in stock these days, and what seems to have like no issue, like being on the shelf, and then what like ubiquity. Like I went on
Yeah.
their website today to buy like something I didn't think I would have any issue ordering, which is one of their like
Or their
wireless
t-shirts.
yeah, t-shirt, right?
Yeah, socks.
Rack screws. No, I was one of their like Loco, the M2, like the old 2.4.
Oh yeah, you can't find those.
Well, I've got a bunch here. I've got like 3 of them here. I guess I could resell them, but I
There you
needed
go.
one more, and I was like, oh, that's not going to work. So I had to order a 5G version, which would actually work for what I needed to do. So yeah, I was kind of shocked that those were missing from their website as well. But I don't ever pay attention to the ISP side of not very often, where I just need a wireless bridge and can buy two $49 parts and I'm done. But oh well.
Yeah. And one of the interesting parts about this was the effects that the other industries have on this. So they're battling with the car industry now, with the electric vehicles and everything coming in. So they got to battle for the same parts, the same chips, et cetera, et cetera. So you're seeing a whole bunch of industries battling, not just home automation industries, but every industry battling for the same, short supply. And that's when we're starting to see. But then you see companies like Amazon, they have no problems getting a little Echo Dot to you. It seems like they have a ridiculous amount of those.
But they do have problems getting you Ring devices. Like those have been on major short supply, and like the especially the Ring Pro, the Pro line stuff, the X line stuff, nowhere near. We're just not even seeing them come into stock. And
Is it only the Pro devices that you're seeing that on? Because
I'm
I
trying to
ordered a
think.
couple devices this week and I had no issue, no supply issues. They were just
I want to say the Ring Pro, like the Doorbell Pro, right? It's like the slimmer doorbell.
yeah.
Not the big chunky one that they sell at Costco, but like the slimmer one. That one's always on short supply. If not, doesn't exist. I'm not sure. I don't keep up with it too much. I just see the guys complain about it in the Slack chat every day. And then I know that like the Elite has probably been out. That's the PoE version one. So I don't know. It kind of like comes
Ebbs
and
and
goes.
flows.
Yeah. But I know that they've had problems. The pros have definitely had problems because we got a couple of them in once and they just kind of went pretty quickly. So yeah, always going to be it's going to be a problem. And it's interesting. They're saying I thought one of the little takeaways in there was interesting where he said that it's going to be a problem unless we hit a recession. Then it's going to be shorter. I'm like, oh yeah, because people can't buy as much. so yeah, that makes sense. That if the economy tanks, then we get our electronics faster. Okay,
Perfect.
it's ideal.
Yeah, I feel like they're still being optimistic with the spring of 2023, but we'll find out.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see.
That's when they're saying that it should ease up a little bit. So
Mark your calendar now.
oh, it's there.
All right, well, moving on here. Chamberlain Group, the makers of the MyQ connected garage door openers, they have discontinued the MyQ Homebridge Hub. This device was basically to integrate HomeKit into the MyQ garage door openers. You just put this little device on there, and you could use Siri to open and close your garage door. I guess that's a thing. I guess if you have Apple the CarPlay. It actually gives you a nice little icon when you're driving up to your house to open and close your door. So
Ooh,
that's
that's
thing.
nice.
Yeah. The MyQ Home Bridge extends. Well, here's a quote from that they gave the Verge over there. It says, "Our products continue to evolve. We have decided to discontinue production of the MyQ Home Bridge hubs." This is George Rassas. He's the group project manager at the Chamberlain Group. And they also confirmed that the existing home bridge hubs will continue to work for, quote, the foreseeable future. So it's not going to break. But it's kind of sad to see it go. I remember like one of the Apple keynotes when they actually talked about HomeKit back in the day. They're like, yeah, we're going to do these Chamberlain garage door openers. And like, it took them a while for Chamberlain to actually bring this product to market. And then now, they finally got it there and people start using it. And they're like, no, we don't do this. We don't want to play in this game anymore. So funny enough, they don't have any solution for their customers to go to. Like there's no replacement. I don't know. This is kind of
buy their new one and then pay the, what is it, a monthly fee or yearly fee to use it?
It's probably the direction they're headed, right?
Yeah. We don't make any money on the HomeKit version, so.
Right. Yeah. You want to have the MyQ subscription for your garage door opener. So it kind of does all the same thing that Apple was giving you for free with this little $90 box. I guess that was kind of one of the things I noted in the article. They said it was kind of expensive, ranged between $70 and $90 for this integration. So I could see why it wouldn't be that popular. They said less than 1% of their users were actually using the HomeBridge Hub, which I would think if, you do a cross section of the people that have Apple devices in their homes. And I mean, they kind of have a virtual monopoly on garage door openers that have MyQ. You would think that there'd be a decent cross section of people who would want this type of integration, but for whatever reason, they punted on the end users punted on that and weren't installing this thing. So whether it was the price or just the feature set or just not understanding the product or, being content with the MyQ app itself, I don't know, but they said a lot of people just weren't interested in the product. So cancel it.
I'm curious, they said less than 1% of HomeKit users were using this, or
no, their users
were using this. But I'd be amazed to see like what their numbers were, like in terms of what because they own the garage market pretty much, right? So they there's a lot of MyQ out there. So if not many people are using HomeKit, then what are people using for HomeKit to control their garage? And even though they're canceling this device, there's other ways. The open source community will tell you how you can get into HomeKit if you really want to anyway, without having to buy this, whether it's going through like Home Assistant and then or Home Bridge and then into there. But it's amazing. I thought HomeKit was more popular than this, and when this is one of the only HomeKit solutions, one of the few out there, you would think there would be a lot of people using it.
Yeah, you think there'd be a lot more demand than the 1% of how many garage doors there are in America, because like I said, they do have a monopoly on this. And
yeah, I think people were probably just content with using their app, I think a lot of people are probably like, I don't see any reason to put it into HomeKit and spend that $90. Let me just use my app. All I want to know is the garage open, is the garage closed, etc., etc. And most basic users, that's all they want.
The power of the default. Yep, you're right. Well, and you're not going to get Walmart to come over your house if you don't have this installed, because they're not. Oh no, wait, they are. They're integrating with Chamberlain's MyQ now, so like Walmart can come over and stick things into your refrigerator if you buy it from Walmart, and they'll come over and deliver stuff for you.
That's nice.
Yeah. Do you guys ever? I mean, I see this like advertised all the time. Like, I don't think I want a Walmart or Amazon employee in my house.
I have a client that uses this, but I've never heard of anybody else using it, and I would not feel comfortable myself. Like, not even the garage door one. Like, the garage door one is like creepy to me by itself. And then they have like the front door ones where you can get it with like Schlag locks and stuff like that. So
I've seen commercials with like a Walmart employee unloading groceries into someone's refrigerator as they're coming home from like picking up the kids. Like, oh, hi, I'm like,
weird.
Yeah, it's really
Weird.
strange.
Yeah, see,
Like, who are
no.
you?
And if I was like a Walmart employee, I would just quit. I would be like, I am not going into random people's houses to put their groceries away. That's weird.
I'd be in the house, grabbing a drink, while I unpack, air playing music to their Sonos, they'd come home. I'd be like, dinner's ready, they'd invite me back, right?
And you
And,
know you're
and
not getting a tip, so
exactly. And the other issue I have with this is I'm having a hard enough time just getting the Amazon delivery people to walk up to my door. They stop at the end of the driveway and toss the package. Now you gotta make it so that they actually have to come up. Like, they're not going to use this. They'll just toss the package at the garage door. That's all that's going to happen.
Says the Walmart service costs $12 or $13 a month or $98 a year. You get unlimited home delivery with an extra $7 a month or $40 a year. And the delivery person
Ooh.
always can come in and pick up your returns too. So that actually
that is appealing.
Yeah, that is appealing. just go take this away. I don't want to take this to the UPS store. I'm like a monster.
And part of this Walmart Plus subscription, which they've done at Sam's Club, but they put it behind a paywall. I think they do like the scan and go as well, where you can actually go and just scan your groceries while you're walking around Walmart and then walk out with them after you pay with them through your phone. And they already do that with Sam's Club, but you don't have to have it. I mean, I guess you have to have the membership, but it's not like anything additional. So I've almost thought about subscribing to this Walmart thing just so I could do the scan and go, because I really hate waiting in line.
I guess it makes sense. It's Sam's, like they don't have bags or anything. Like, you just load up into a shopping cart. If you scan and go, that totally would be, do they check your app? Do they like Sharpie mark your phone when you walk out the door?
Dang it. They it prints out, or it shows off just like a little QR code, and they scan it, and then they just scan your items like they normally do. So
interesting.
Well, one thing I do at Walmart is we order online, and then we just drive up. We schedule our time. When you go to pick up, you just drive into a spot, you check in, and they roll everything out, and you pop open the trunk, and they throw it in the trunk. And that alone saves us a lot of time, and a lot of money, because when I go to Walmart, I walk every aisle and I pick up all the things I didn't need.
Yeah, I think our Walmarts are worse for that, because I try to do the online ordering as much as possible. And it's like half the stuff is always out of stock, and they never make substitutions and stuff. So it's a rather last minute thing if we're doing that.
The only time I tried that, or I didn't try it. Let's just say someone who shops in my family a lot more than I do tried that. And then I got to be the lucky one that goes and sits in the parking lot. Like, I sat out there and I watched like 3 or 4 people come and go. And I'm like, what am I doing here? why aren't they coming out? I'm in your car. Like, and like, there's no one to go talk to or anything. And eventually they came out and they're like, yeah, the person that was pulling that, they went home. And like, okay, so are you the person that's here to assist me? And they're like, no, they locked that cage up and they just went home. Like,
you don't get your stuff. Sorry.
No, I drove out to Walmart.
We actually didn't tell you it was ready, so I'm not really sure why you came.
No, it was ready. I got there and watched 2 or 3 people pull in after me and leave, and I'm like, when are they bringing my stuff? And I guess the person that pulled my stuff decided it wasn't going to happen that day. So
you must have ordered bad stuff.
I don't know. It was like kids' clothes or something.
40 cases of pop.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what it was? But anyway, let's move on here to some bigger and better things. I like movies. Guys, do you like movies? Do you like going to the movie theater?
Yes, I still do. Almost weekly.
I love the movie theater. Well, you're going to have to visit the U.S. now, because in the U.S., it will cost just $3 on Saturday, September 3rd, to go to the movies in the U.S. So this is in celebration of a new made-up holiday, completely made up, called National Cinema Day. And if you've never heard of the holiday, it didn't exist until now. So yeah, there you go.
You're welcome.
September 3rd. Just mark it on your calendar from now on. $3 a ticket, not including the tax, but you get tickets across all formats and showtimes. So IMAX, 3D movies, anything you want to go see, $3. And this is valid for about 3,000 theaters here in the States, including chains like Regal, Cinemark, AMC. They've all agreed to do that on the new holiday. So I bet popcorn's still going to be like $18 a bucket, though. So mileage may vary on how much you spend. But $3, that's not bad.
Still going to drop $50.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you gotta pay for yourself plus your guests. It adds up like building
Yeah.
a
Well,
rack.
Did you build that for your guest?
No,
I thought
but
nobody
we
saw
do.
that.
We do go to the movies quite frequently still. Actually, shockingly, we have a theater around the corner. It's never packed, so that's why we go often. But we go a lot on the Tuesdays, cheap Tuesdays we have up here, and it's
Yep.
like $8, which is probably $3 at some point. Um, and like I like going to the movies, but we always sneak in our own snacks because I did order popcorn there once, and my cheap Tuesday wasn't so cheap anymore. But I love going to the movies. Like as much as I like watching at home, I still like to go to the cinemas and enjoy it in the IMAX or the bigger screen.
We used to watch. We used to go to the theaters all the time. Like, I mean, they were much nicer than they are now, but we used to go all the time. And I would say probably on so maybe twice a week. Just to see any movie and every movie that we could see. And there's some people that weren't into that. I get it, but TJ's like, nope, not me. But yeah,
Yeah,
we
maybe like once a year.
yeah, no.
There might be a movie that's worth it.
Yeah, we have not. I mean, recently, of course, we haven't gone as often, but there is a Cheap Tuesday place around the corner from here, but it's one of the dinner theaters. So even though it's cheap, they have a full bar, and it ends up costing a lot more money than it would. So at least $3. What? How much the ticket to be off after that? At that point, maybe I'll save $17 on a ticket or something like that. But yeah. I'll see what's playing this weekend, and take part in the national new holiday, the brand new holiday that's just made up for this, so they could get people back into the theaters.
I remember like back in the days, like sometimes you just remember when you watched a certain movie in the theater, the emotion, etc., you had at that time, and you'll never forget that experience. And that's why we still go and support the theaters a lot. But I remember, I'm going to date myself here, seeing Matrix for the first time in the theater, Dumb and Dumber for the first, that snowball scene. The snowball scene from Dumb and Dumber you just remembered those type of things. Like you have an experience with certain movies in the theaters. And especially one thing I like going to theaters is you're focused on the movie, no distractions, your phone's off, you're just paying attention to the movie. When you're at home, I try to do that, but there's always something, somebody can call you, or the doorbell rings, or the dog's got to go outside,
Somebody's got to pause it to
go to the
visit
bathroom.
the restroom.
Yeah. Sometimes I just say no pausing, reference whencanip.com or whatever that site is, because you got to figure out your timing. I am not pausing this movie.
That's why you just got to have Sonos everywhere. You don't miss anything.
You don't miss it all. Yeah, just play in the bathroom.
Yeah, I got to put a TV in the bathroom now. For all
good.
Her bathroom breaks.
Well, it sometimes it's like pause it. I think we should make popcorn for this, and then it like turns into, oh well, the kitchen's kind of dirty. Let's clean it up. It's like,
yep.
Oh, come on, we were sat down to watch a movie 30 minutes ago. We haven't sat back down. It's on the title screen right now. So yeah. The pause is the enemy. So yeah, going to the theater and like sitting back, relaxing. You get the nice comfy seats now, so that's nice. Yep. And
they are very nice.
Yeah,
I do like going to the theaters now compared to maybe 5 or 10 years ago, just because of how comfortable the chairs are now. Yeah. I mean, they're like straight on recliners at this point.
Yep.
And if you want to take a nap, it's perfectly acceptable. Before it was a little weird because you're sitting straight up. Now you're reclined a little bit. It's all right.
The experience is so much better now, though, too, because even just being able to book your seats in advance and see how full the theater is, and you no longer have to get there early. You could get there just in time. You know where your seat is, and every now and then you have to kick somebody out of your seat. You're like, hey, that's my seat. You're 2 aisles back or something, but it's a much better experience now, and that's why I just enjoy it that much more.
Especially since COVID too, when they didn't put anybody next to your seat. And so, you book it with 2 people and you have both seats next to you empty, pure bliss.
Yeah.
I'll go to the movies all the time if it's like that.
It doesn't help their numbers, they can't fill those seats.
I'm
but
fine with
we're
it.
happy.
I don't want to be sitting next to some stranger.
Yeah. I gotta say, it is the You reminded me of like all the plotting and hours of extra time that we spent hanging out in front of a movie theater waiting to get into more popular ones so we could do a mad dash to the seats that we wanted 3/4 of the way up and directly in the middle where the sound was balanced. Yeah. And now I just go on and I'm like, click, click. You can't have those seats. They're mine. So yeah. Well, everybody in the States, go out, visit your local theater, give them $3, watch an IMAX movie for $3 and call it a day. I'm gonna have to see what's playing. I haven't actually looked and see what's out right now. So probably something fun we can bring the kiddo to. Anyway, let's move on here. All the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found on our show notes over at HomeTech.fm/402. No mailbag this week, but we do have a Crestron. No mailbag this week, but we do have a pick of the week. And who put this in here? Is it Gavin or TJ?
It is from one of my groups, low voltage groups.
This is wild. Oh wait, we actually have it on the video here, so we can actually put that on the screen. I will put it up. Maybe not. There we go. Beautiful. So if you're listening to the podcast, which is probably most everyone, since there's only one person joining us here tonight, in live at least, this is a security keypad, and it looks like the painter and spray texture guy was like, oh no, that's supposed to be there. Let me just spray over like the whole thing. Like they textured and sprayed it, and it's there you go, beautiful. Hey, Ty's here too, so there's a couple of people in there.
Gorgeous. And this is a NAPCO security panel, and for anybody that cares, it's the GEM RP 2ASE2. Very attractive name. I assume they did this so that you could just peel the paint off, and it's kind of like a brand new product. So props off to them. I like that as a new homeowner.
I think it looks better than the NAPCO did it originally. Like if you scrape the screen off and the buttons had the numbers on them, I think it would probably blend in a little bit better than the ugly NAPCO.
I mean, security panels are traditionally really ugly. So
what is the deal with that? Like I remember we were talking about the Claire stuff the other day, and that SnapAV had acquired that company, and Gavin said it'd be nice if we had something that looked this nice in the DIY space. And I'm like, you're right. The only thing we have in DIY is like the ring thing. And it's like, that's what if like Duplo decided to make a security panel. It does not look good on anyone's walls. It just like, it looks like someone's child came like, well, let's just make it out of this plastic that these Duplo blocks are made out of. But what the other end of this, the NAPCOs or GE panel, I don't even know who's making security these days. I guess Qualsys is popular. It's
kind of like 2 gig. I use 2 gig.
Those are touchscreen based ones, but they're all like these massive, like all-in-one unit things. They don't look very good. Even the standalone touchscreens don't look all that great. So
no,
I don't know.
Ugly.
I wish there was something.
It's because like nobody uses these things, you know. It's like
the
majority of people that are doing home automation and stuff at this point, they're just using their phone or their voice or something. So I feel like the use case for this is like even more dwindling than what it was.
Yeah, that's why the little like, you remember like Canary? I guess it's still out there.
Oh yeah, that backlash.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're not as popular as they used to be, but like these little like security systems, or even Amazon now they'll have the Echo devices listening for glass breaking sounds and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's actually better security than this, because even though you can't even see what's on this keypad, like you weren't going to use the keypad anyway. You weren't going to use the security system.
Yeah, so just use your phone anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
I remember the old days of running into a house and you're hearing the beep and you had 30 seconds to disable it, and you fumbled up a couple times and
siren go off and
then you start getting a call, and then now you got to find the card with the number for verification.
I forgot my passcode.
My mom still does all that, right? At my house, it's all automated, so of course we don't have to worry about everything arms and disarms based on presence, etc., etc. But some people still love these keypads, and the one thing I do like about those keypads is they were reliable. Right, like they just worked. I mean, in the DIY space,
forever.
Yeah, in the DIY space, people they take touch. They'll take like tablets and stuff and put them on. But those tablets, like, they're prone to break, especially when you invest in a little Amazon tablet. One morning you wake up, it's not connecting to the network because it got some update or something like that. I just don't see them as reliable as these little touch panels.
Yeah, the button and one thing I do like about them having these things on the wall is generally there was LEDs on them, and you could like walk by and see the status of the system.
Yeah.
The ring kind of has that on theirs, like it's got a motion or a presence sensor or something like that on there, and like if you get close enough, it'll light up, right? But yeah, I do like that, like the status light aspect of it, where you can just walk over to the room and say, did I forget to arm the system last night, or that kind of thing. So someone's asking what the price per button on this is.
While you calculate that out, the paint job
$222. I already calculated it. If we're going with the used price, I don't know what the MSRP is just because it's so old, but
the paint job's great though. Like it blends into the wall great. Like whoever did that, awesome job.
Nailed it.
Yep.
That was a whole lot of not my job right there.
See, the panel is $222 for the.
No, but it's got $222 per button.
Okay.
It's $40 for it on eBay right now.
For eBay. Oh, okay. I see. Well, I was gonna say, well, I mean, you'd have to break that price out over the months of the $40 per month.
Oh, we're not doing that. Come on.
And on average, you'd spend that for like 3 or 4 years.
We don't do that for everything.
Just getting too complicated now.
What was the estimated click capacity?
Yep.
The price per button per hour.
Yeah. It's going to be a whole new aspect to this database. It is a database. We can do
This is going to be multi-site.
Too good. Well, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, bits of the week, or great ideas for a show, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. That's going to wrap up another week here. I have a sob story. As you guys know, I'm a programmer by trade now, and a moonlighting technician, I guess, in my house.
You're doing more work than I am some days.
Oh, man. And this weekend I was like, it's quiet. My wife was out of town. I had my daughter and she was helping. And I was like, let me go rearrange the rack, because I mounted the UPS a little too high, right? Should be on the bottom, as you do. And it was getting a little saggy, and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like any of this. So I moved the UPS down to the bottom where it should go. And then I was like, well, I can put others. I filled this rack up. This rack is full of stuff that I have, right? It looks great now. I need to take a picture of it. And I took all my white screws out. I've got a whole bag of white screws for you, Gavin, if you need them. But one thing I did, I was taking all the cage nuts out and moving stuff around, and I hurt my finger. Like awful. But I had a lot of fun this weekend swapping stuff around, and now I can't type. I'm injured. Like there's got to be like, I guess workman's comp against myself for working on this at home.
I am not a lawyer, but I would not advise that.
And after you told me about this, I went and grabbed a cage nut, and I tried to figure out how I would hurt myself with a cage nut.
Oh, it's easy when you don't want it to happen.
Oh, yep. I tried.
Yep.
I was just
you can,
like, I don't
and
know
it's
what
super easy
did.
to like pinch your fingers into them as well. I've done that a couple of times where you're trying to squeeze it in to the little spot, and you get your finger caught in there. Oh.
These were particularly tight. They were like, I had to use a screwdriver to kind of like poke them in while keeping my finger on the back of them. So
that's why I have my little like toenail clipper thing that I sent you a picture of.
Yeah,
it's for cage nuts.
Bought that.
See, you bought a $40 remote you don't even need, but you could have used this cage nut tool
to save my
$13.
my programming fingers. Yeah, that would have been great. Can't type
glad
it all
I don't
today.
do this often.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I got everything arranged in there the way I wanted, or at least mostly the way I wanted. Now I thought I had more room. I need a bigger rack now. It's full. I was kind of surprised.
The worst feeling about cage nuts, while we're talking crap about cage nuts, The worst thing about cage nuts is when you have like 4 of them in there and you go to put a device in there and you get 3 of them all secured down and everything. You go to put the 4th one in there and it knocks the nut out. That is the most infuriating thing in the world. I'll tell you what.
I can associate with that after building my first rack. I know exactly what you're talking about because that happened to me multiple times.
And it's always the heaviest object. It's never like the
Yeah.
1U shelf or the 2U shelf or the blank plate. It's always like the UPS or the NVR or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna start hot gluing them in there.
I have 2. So I have 2 racks.
That's having it a couple of years.
Yeah, I know, right? So the one in the garage here is just the garage stuff, and then I have one over in the the equipment closet that does the AV stuff for the house, and that one is a Slim 5, so Middle Atlantic Slim 5. There's no cage nuts. It's just like the rails with the holes, and like going back and forth between the 2 of them was like, oh, I just need to move this here, and here on the AV one, and I come over here, and I'm like carefully holding my bleeding hand as I'm trying to like push stuff in. My daughter's freaking out saying I need a Band-Aid and like running and getting me paper towels and stuff. So yeah.
It's almost worth paying 3 times as much for a rack.
Because
I mean, it's crazy, right? Like, because like I don't understand why they're more expensive, but like you never find like a cheap rack with them already built in. It's always has the cage nuts. And I guess it's probably just because it's like easier to mass produce or something. But I have no idea. I've never seen them until I got into the cheaper racks. So
yeah. I don't know if that, like, I see them all the time in IT. They're used there. But in like Gavin ran into too, there's like the 2 screw sizes. So like you get like the wrong cage,
like 832 and 1032, I think.
I did not know that, and now I have a bag of mixed screw sizes, and and no matter what, it takes you like 4 tries to find a right pair, and it drives me nuts.
Like USB,
yep.
This is USB-C. It's reversible.
Yeah. Still takes you 20 tries.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad I got most of it cleaned up. I got everything cleaned up, the wires run, and everything put together. And I was going to step into my larger project this week, which was putting up a projector screen that I bought off of like Amazon, but it may as well have been from like Wish.com. Like it's like the cheapest, ugliest screen I think I've ever seen in my life, and it's so wrinkly. It doesn't like. I can't put a picture on it. All you see is the wrinkles. So I'll have to either regroup on this and figure out something out. But I don't have. I looked at like the fancy film screens that I am accustomed to getting from Stewart, and they don't even make one as small as I need. I just need an 84-inch screen.
Just get a TV at that point.
I know, right? Well, I gotta hang it on my garage door.
Oh, that's fine.
Just paint it white.
Just disable the garage door opener so that way nobody destroys your TV.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's pretty much that way now, but
nobody can open it right now.
Yeah, it'll just be a TV hanging on the garage when you open it. Whoops. Well, maybe I should just get a TV, but by the time I like look into like doing any more with this, maybe the 84-inch TV would be the way to go.
Just
I don't know.
Put hinges at the top, so that when it opens upwards, the TV
falls
down.
That's a genius idea.
Right? So you can still watch TV even with the door open.
Just crashes into everything into the garage. Just like scrapes across everything, knocks all my desk over.
That's fine. It'll work.
This image is getting close. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Seth, here you go. On Amazon, you can just buy a foldable projector screen. It's got little hanging clips. $20, 84-inch.
That's probably the one I bought, and I need to send you guys a picture of it because it's not smooth, and I'm like, can I iron? It's not film screen material like real thick. It's
like vinyl.
Yeah, it's like tint material. Like
well,
you would
it
have
says it's 4K, and advertisements can't lie. So
I'm sure you can project 4K on it. I'm sure you can do 8K on it, but the quality is like no.
It's not good when one of the pictures shows nails not included, but actually shows a screw with it instead.
This might actually be the one I bought. I don't know. It
I
wasn't
would
very
give it a
much.
shot for $20.
Yeah, I was like $20 can't hurt, and now I'm like, I should just go. I bought a bunch of PVC at Home Depot for $30. I'm like, I'll make a frame out of this and stretch it out over that, but I don't think that's going to get the wrinkles out. I think I'm still going to have to iron it somehow. This is 100% wrinkle-free material, so maybe I should just order this one and see if they take them up on that offer. Add to cart.
There you go. Making us spend money. I think we got you for $70 today or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not bad.
Another 12 shows or so. We gotta go.
I'm getting you back for the twinkly lights you made me buy the other day. So
You're just spending money. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps up another week here on Home Tech. If you want, we do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are financially support the show through our Patreon. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support and learn how you can support Home Tech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you, or $5 and up per month, actually gets you a shout out on the show. But every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, the Hub, where you can go in there and gather and talk about. There's been all sorts of stuff in there lately. But I think what I propose today, after listening to Richard for the past, I don't know, 10 years or so,
Genius.
talk about Gunther, talk about switches that he just can't handle. I think we're gonna call them Gunther switches, and like Norman doors. And if you know about Norman doors, that's doors that you walk up to and you can't figure out, like your brain doesn't. You go and you push on it, and of course that doesn't open, so you have to pull it. That's a Norman door. It just, your brain can't tell you how it normally opens. And Richard has this thing about switches, and I propose that any switch that you walk up to that's on a wall that you can't naturally understand how to turn it on and off, that we'll call that in his memoriam, I guess. I don't memorial. I don't know how that works. What word is right, but we should call those honor, I guess. Yeah, in his honor. We should call those Gunther switches. So yeah, that's my proposal. If you see a switch as you're walking around, like that has a toggle at the top or something where you have to press the button at the top or the bottom and it just toggles things on and off, just think in your head, hey, that's a Gunther switch. There you go. So fun stuff.
I never even knew a Norman door was a thing until this was brought up. So I guess,
really?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I just never knew it had a name.
There is like a Tumblr out there full of Norman doors that people have taken pictures of and uploaded to Tumblr. So it's really good.
TP Link has their Gunther switches on sale this weekend.
Do they work with Home Assistant?
Nope, but they hinge at the top.
Yep.
I gotta get used to saying this now.
Gunther switches. Yep. All right, guys. Well, if you want to help the show but can't find if you want to help out the show but can't support financially, totally understand. Just looking for a 5-star review or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That wraps up another week here on Home Tech. From everyone here, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
See you next time.
Bye.
Oh, man.
See ya.
And for those tuned in, if you're looking for Zoo's having a big sale this weekend.
Do they have Gunther switches too?
No, they have regular toggle switches, I think.
They have switches you might be able to buy.
But they have the smartesthouse.com, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the US,
buy them.
They have good sale going on this weekend. I think there's a holiday this weekend or something.
What is Labor Day?
A Zoo Z-Wave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Z-Wave.
Z-Wave.
I don't have anything ever.
Canada.
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada. Oh. I wonder if we'll have a sale in Canada too. We'll see.
They have a Z-Box hub.
Z-Box.
Yeah, I've never looked into their home control system.
They have like an actual hub?
Yeah, they have a hub.
It says reclaim your smart home.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming in 2022. So it's just like everybody else. They don't have parts to make it. So
That happens.
they ordered it 18 months ago and they're still waiting
What's
for
it?
it to
What's
show
it
up,
called?
So. It's called the Z-Box Hub.
Z-Box Hub.
Because
Z-Box.
it's funny how these other companies have their own hubs, like Fabaro has their own hub. You know,
Yeah.
I've never thought of it. I always thought of
Somebody link me.
hub.
ZBoxHub.com.
ZBoxHub.com.
Evidently, they have a landing page for it. There's no information other than a landing page.
Oh,
So,
well, that's not exciting.
no, I didn't think so. I was hoping to get like what's on it. What's on this thing?
It looks like the same company that makes ADI's W box stuff.
It's probably a Pi, a rebranded Pi.
Well, look, I got to add some of these things in here. Zen 32 scene controller. Get that bad boy added onto our list. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. I think we talked about this one before.
What is it?
Zen 32 scene controller. I feel like I'm on a wrong website.
Probably.
You guys are asking me like, what is that?
No, that's one of their models. That's their 5-button remote model.
Yeah, there's 5 buttons on it. I can't buy it from here. Oh,
I'm just gonna have a collection of hubs. You know, like everybody, like sometimes you get those old people that collect like computers. You get those old people that collect like phones. Mine is literally just going to be hubs.
We should buy all the hubs and then make decorative plates out of them. Like, you know how my grandmother got suckered into that a long time ago, and she's got all these collector plates. Like, we could just have like series of like painted on Wise hubs, you know, and you can mount them onto the wall and stuff. They'll be collector's items.
We'll start using them as coasters.
They're pretty big. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, Ty. Jim, looks like Jim showed up in there too.
Jim was there. Bruno was there.
Yeah.
Had a good show.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys later.
Not recording anymore.